Are you a professional woman who wants to create passive income streams and financial freedom through real estate investing? Join us here on Real Estate Investor Goddesses, hosted by Monick Halm. Listen to women who are rocking it in real estate investments as they share their stories of success, failures, and best advice in real estate investing. Start creating real wealth through real estate. Tune in today. Here's your host, real estate investor, syndicator, and developer, Monick Halm.
On this show, I interview amazing, badass women real estate investors that are crushing it in the real estate investing space. And today I am so excited to have with me again, Moneeka Sawyer, who is one of the incredible women featured in our upcoming book, Invest Like a Goddess, Advice from the Most Successful Women in Real Estate. And in this podcast, I've brought her here to talk about advice, her best advice, and some more of the worst advice. So that because the right piece of advice at the right time can change your life. So I'm excited to have Moneeka Sawyer with us, who is the Blissful Millionaire. She reached her financial freedom by turning 10,000 to over 5 million, working only 5 to 10 hours per month with very little stress. She is now on a mission to help as many other women as she can to do the same. It's like me, she has a heart to help women. She's a TEDx speaker and hosts the top-rated podcast and radio show, Real Estate Investing for Women. Interviewed tons of amazing guests. She's been on tons of different shows and on TV, NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, and now the Real Estate Investor Goddesses podcast. It's just the pinnacle. So welcome, Moneeka.
I love it, guys. It's Monique and Moneeka.
It's a Moneeka show.
Yay!
And I'm so excited because over the few years that I've known Moneeka, she's become a dear friend. You know, I'm thrilled to share her brilliance with you.
Thanks for having me on again, Monique.
Thanks for being here. So before we get going, I've shared your very impressive bio, but I would love if you would share something that's not in your bio that few people know about you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was just telling you in the green room that I am going to Hawaii next week to teach about veil dancing. So I've been a veil dancer for probably 20 years, and I've been competitive and whatever. And I've moved to trying to help women feel really empowered and feel really sexy and feel really feminine and feel like a goddess, because that's what we're all about, right, Monique? Yeah. So really turn us into the goddess that we were meant to be, and to have some props that really help with that. And it's so much fun. So I'm going to be teaching in Hawaii for that. And I guess, so the thing that people don't know is, wow, Moneeka teaches about veil dancing, or even that I did veil dance, right? So
like competitively,
yeah. I'm like, I've taken first place in California over and over again. It's awesome. You know, us women that are like into real estate and into success, we are not competitive at all. So
well, you can be. I think we don't. There's more than enough for all of us.
It's true.
You know, you can play. You know, we can compete in contests and have fun, and it's fine to just show up as our best, right? And
I absolutely agree with you on that.
So awesome. I love that. I think they found that out when we were in Austin together, and and I was like, wow, it was just so fascinating. It's so great to learn little nuggets about people. You're like, oh,
that's different. Yeah,
that's amazing. You know, switching gears to advice, what would you say is the best life advice you've ever received?
You know, Monique, I have to say the people that have given me the best advice in my life are my parents. They're like the people that I am so blessed. Like, I know you are too. We've got these amazing parents that just had the very best in mind for us. Yeah. And I think the best real estate advice, as well as the best life advice that I want to share today, is something that my dad said to me just before I got into real estate. I had dug my feet in. I did not want to get into real estate. I had watched him do real estate for years and all the issues that come with that, right? I was like such a no thank you. And my dad said something to me over the dinner table that changed everything in my life, my career, and the way that I looked at life. And basically what he said was, Moneeka, everybody has fear, everybody has stress, and everybody has money problems. Do you want poor people money problems, or do you want rich people money problems? And what I love so much about that, first of all, I was like, rich people have money problems? Like I was 22, right? Like really? but when I really
pay
love
less taxes.
I know.
How can we keep more of what we have?
Yeah. But it was so all encompassing, right? Everybody has stress. Everybody has fear. Like sometimes I think that, there's all these successful people, even today, right? Like I look at you and Peter, and I look at these people that I admire, and I think, are they like me? And I think so many of our listeners are probably thinking that, right? We all have stress. We all have fear. And we all have money problems. Some are better than others, but
everyone has problems. It's just, you want better problems.
You want better problems.
The problems
Exactly.
get better, right?
Yeah. And with the stress and the fear, you want mentors that can help you through it. Role models and mentors that can help you through it. So
that was awesome. So how did you take that advice, about, you said it changed everything. So how did it change things for you? What did you start doing differently as a result of getting that question, hearing that question?
Yeah. So like I said, I was digging my feet in, my heels in. I was like, no, thank you. Not going to do this. In the meantime, I couldn't find a job because it was a recession. So I made some different decisions. I took the job that I could get that I would enjoy. It paid very, very little. And I started to save so I could invest in real estate. So, I was getting, let's say, $10 an hour, and I was quite literally saving 10%. So I kind of changed the way that I was running my life. It was so interesting about that. I wasn't making any money. I was living hand to mouth, sort of, except for the little savings. I did sign up for my 401k. I had a little bit of savings that I was putting away for real estate, but it completely empowered me. Suddenly I felt like I was in control of my life, that nobody could run me over. Nobody could put me down. Like now I had a plan, and I was starting to do things that empowered me financially, empowered in my career, and it empowered me personally to feel safe and like I could take care of myself. Because up until then, I was kind of like, a lot of college students, I don't know how to do this adulting thing. But that moved me forward to, oh yeah, I've got a plan now. I've got some strategies,
I love that. That's great. So my next question was about the best financial advice, but was that the same thing?
I would say it would be the same thing. Actually, you know what? I've got another one that I love that I use all the time. I always remind myself of. I read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Have you read that one?
Such a great book.
Yeah. Pay yourself first. So even when I'm tempted, I'm like, oh, well, we're making more money now, right? You grow our expenses. No, pay myself first. Always remember to pay yourself first. And how I pay myself is I invest in real estate, right? That's what I do. And then I take the money that I make there and I invest more, right? So that's probably the very best advice I ever got, is pay yourself first. Yeah. And he recommends 10%. I do more than that now, but I only started with 10%. We all got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Start with at least 10%. So every dollar is take a dime.
That's right.
If you put that aside, it grows.
Yeah.
That's it. And then you get enough of that, and then you invest it and you make that grow.
That's right.
That's how you build wealth. It's not that complicated,
and that's the thing, is it's not that complicated. I think people are like, if it's not complicated, it's not good. Somehow we have that impression. At least that's what I've seen. But those simplest little things have such a huge impact. It doesn't need to be complicated. Yeah.
And there's this compounding that happens.
That's right.
It's amazing.
That's right.
Okay. Thank you for that amazing advice. So what's the worst advice you could give someone?
Investing is scary and hard.
Don't invest.
Don't invest. Keep your money under the mattress because it's safe there, which it is so not. Right?
It is literally not. I have a friend who did that. He had $40,000 in his house. His house got broken into, and there went the money.
There with the money. But not only that, with
But
inflation,
it
you're basically
grow.
it doesn't grow. Well, not only that, it loses its value. Like it's not even that it doesn't grow, it loses, right? Because of inflation. Every year you're losing 6% of that money, at least.
Now,
right? Depends on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So yeah, don't do that.
Make your money grow.
Yes.
Get
yes,
it working
yes.
for you. Have it come back
Exactly.
with friends.
Yeah, have it show up for the party with lots of friends.
Send it off and have it come back with friends.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be terrible advice. Yeah, just stay scared. Don't invest your money.
That's right.
Or even worse, spend all your money and then some and put it on credit cards and then just be in debt.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's worse. But I don't think I could even stomach saying something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you did.
Buy lots of shoes and purses and,
yeah, impress everybody else and then not be able to impress yourself.
Look really good.
Mm-hmm.
And,
exactly.
spend all your money and then some. Pay your minimums on your credit cards.
Oh, it just hurts. Oh.
And I wish I could say I've never done that, but I did not always get the best advice. I wish.
Well, but you know what, Monique, that's actually a really good point. We've all done that. I've done that, right? But I learned really early on that's not what I want for my life.
Not a good strategy for success.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
so, ladies, if you've done that, it's okay. If you're still doing that, that's okay. But it's time to learn and move forward.
Time to stop.
Yeah, that's right.
You know better, you do better.
Yeah.
All right. So who do you turn to for advice?
I turn to you. I turn to my peers. I would say, since I have a podcast myself, right, Real Estate Investing for Women, I get to meet absolutely amazing people. And because of that, I've been invited into communities where I have access to brilliant minds and we're all really good at what we do, right? And so I have people that I can bounce ideas off that I really respect and trust. When I have a problem, I have somewhere to go. And so I know everybody doesn't have access to the same kinds of people that I do. They have access to their own kinds of people. But what I will say is this: find a mastermind of people that you really relate to, that you resonate with, that you feel that you can be in the conversation with. Right. Or even I will say that often I feel like I'm not good enough to be in the conversation. Right. But I want to be in that conversation anyways. So that's basically who I turn to is the people that I consider my mastermind. One of the
best, I don't know if this is advice or quote from you, is you were at our Real Estate Investor Soulmates conference. You spoke, but one of the things that you said has been one of the best nuggets I've ever heard, which was, because you're talking about not feeling like you're good enough to be there, feeling a bit like an imposter. You said, if you don't feel like an imposter, you're not dreaming big enough, or you're not like playing big enough, basically. That's a sign that you're in the right place if you're feeling out of your depth.
That's right.
And I love that.
Thank you, Monique. I have to say, when I say, I'm like, I'm always talking, blah, 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 blah. It's so nice to know when something comes back to me, oh my God, someone heard me. And it was good. So thank you.
It was like, I heard that, I was like, drop the mic. Like, that's a good line. I was like, yes. If I'm not feeling imposter syndrome, then I'm not playing a big enough game, which is a good thing, because I feel imposter syndrome all the time. So isn't
it true? And I think people look at the person that they admire and they say, oh, I can't be that. Or that person feels the imposter syndrome. I guarantee we all feel it. It's just, how are we dealing with it? Right. And I love that. I keep reminding myself of that, Good. My dreams
so
are big
it's
enough.
such a good reframe. It means you're in the right place.
That's right.
When
That's
you're
right.
feeling that. It doesn't mean that you're in the wrong place, you can't do it. It's like, oh, this is a sign that I'm in the right place. I'm stretching myself enough so that I do feel like an imposter. And I feel uncomfortable and out of my, out of the comfort zone. So
yeah,
I love that. So that's one of the best pieces of advice I've gotten from you.
oh, thank you.
Like, it wasn't necessarily stated as advice, but basically
No, it's pretty close. I think it was
like, get yourself uncomfortable, allow yourself to feel like an imposter.
Yeah.
And remember that means you're doing it. You're doing it well.
And I keep hearing, and this sounds trite, and I know people have heard this over and over again, but it's something that I repeat to myself all the time. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's where the magic happens.
But I say nothing you want is in your comfort zone.
That's right. Nothing
you want is in your comfort zone. You can vacation there for a little bit,
but
if you live there, it will get uncomfortable in the wrong way.
In the wrong way, right?
It'll start to then you'll be in the smaller and smaller box. So you can't live in your comfort zone.
I heard someone tell me recently, this is a great quote that I got, was, oh my God, and there it went.
That would have been the thing that would change all your lives. Sorry, y'all.
Oh my goodness. It'll come back. It's funny. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That happens to me too. And I'm like, I forgot. And I was like, man, if I remembered, it would have solved all your problems.
That's right.
Changed your life for good.
It's like,
it would have, it's like the secret of health, wealth, and
everything. You're just gonna have to listen to me some other time.
So we're just like, sorry.
Yeah.
You'll have to learn it the hard way.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
If you think working hard is hard, being broke is harder, right?
Yeah.
And we're not just talking about money. We're talking about the excitement in our life. We're talking about feeling successful. We're talking about expanding, right? All of those things feel like a lack of abundance, like a compression, right? So if expansion is hard, compression is harder.
Yeah. I've heard it said too, like if you do what's hard now, your life will be easy. If you do what's easy now, your life will be hard.
Yeah.
There is a certain amount of just, you tighten the belt a little. You put in the effort at the beginning. You make sure that you get educated, and you go and get out of the comfort zone. You do those hard things, and then that's what leads to a phenomenal life.
Yeah, I agree.
Love it. Okay, so what's the best advice you have for a woman investing in real estate, and how did you learn this advice?
Don't wait. I think one of the big mistakes people make in the real estate market is they wait for the market to correct, or they wait for the right time, or they're trying to guess the market or time the market. And the problem is that we can't really time the market. I know people that were saying the market's going to crash starting in 2006. And then didn't invest, and the market did crash in 2008. But there was those 3 years where they were just sitting on the sidelines that so many other things could have happened for them.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that crash was horrible. It was a weird crash. Nothing like that is likely to happen again. I don't have a crystal ball, but knowing the way the markets work in general, we can predict that would probably not happen again. So from my perspective, if you wait, you're cheating yourself out of the opportunity. However, I would never say go short term. Like you go long term. Real estate really is a long game. And so you need to give yourself time to be right.
Yeah. I remember in 2016, a very sophisticated investor. I'm not gonna out him, but he's written one of the top books on real estate investing and apartments. And I remember at the time he was saying, yeah, I think we're at the top of the market. I'm not buying. This was 2016. He stopped buying apartment buildings. There has been so much growth since. And then I saw him at a conference again. What was it? It was 2019. So it was before COVID. And it was 3 years later. I said, are you still not buying? He was like, actually, he's like, well, we're starting to sell, but yeah, we're buying again. And
Yeah.
I mean, that was like quite a few. And I think he'd even stopped, maybe he'd stopped in 2015 or before, because that was in January 2016. He'd stopped, he was saying he'd stopped buying.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of growth since then.
Yeah.
A lot of years where he wasn't in it because he thought, no, the prices were too crazy and there's like no money to be made. So he said, so even sophisticated investors will make that mistake and they think they can time the market. But I think when you find a deal where the numbers make sense and you know that over time it'll get better because you can have a fixed mortgage, fixed rate mortgage, and rents will increase over time, then you do it and you get in. It's like they say, when was the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. The next best time is now.
Right now.
Real estate. Yeah, it'd be great if you could have bought 20 years ago. The next best time is right now because that's the only time you got.
That's all we got, right? And I tell people, I was on TV down in LA and the producer came out and was like, wow, it was in San Diego, actually. They were like, wow, I wish I had bought real estate 20 years ago. Isn't it really a bubble now? And I said, and in 20 years, you'll look back and you'll say the same thing.
Yeah.
Unless you did.
I bought 20 years ago. Yeah.
That's right. So do it. I mean, do your research. Like you say, you need to make smart investments, but you need to actually take action. Don't keep waiting to time the market.
Yeah, there are always opportunities. There are bad deals though.
Yes, there are. No. Yes, there are. And I've made mistakes too.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, do your research, get your education, and don't try to time the market.
Really great advice. All right. Well, we're going to end with our famed end of show Trinity, which is a gratitude and desire. So what is one thing you're celebrating right now? What's your brag?
I just moved to Sacramento, which I was horrified to have to do from the Bay Area. We in the Bay Area have been fairly stuck up about how wonderful our area is. And boy, have I had an eye opener about that. I'm now living close to my parents, so I get to see them every week. My dad's 91. So Monique, I can't express enough the gratitude that my husband supported me in this move, that it was so easy, the way the universe just handed it to me. And then I'm getting so much beautiful time with my family.
So well bragged, beautifully bragged. And what's one thing you're grateful for?
That's it.
Same thing.
Same thing. I'm so grateful.
Oh, beautiful digestion. Thank you. And lastly, what's one desire?
I've never admitted this on air, so this is a secret, goddesses.
Okay.
But I am.
Public. This is.
I'm in transition. We've transitioned to Sacramento, and there's some like transition energy that has ignited me, and I'm in transition, and I want this transition to happen in my business as beautifully as it has happened in my personal life through this move.
I love it. Yeah. So shall your desire be, or so much better than you can imagine, under grace and in perfect ways.
Thank
you. Thank you. Thank you for being here and sharing your brilliance and wisdom. As always, so one of my brags, I'm friends with Moneeka. Moneeka. And I desire to spend more time with Moneeka.
You're awesome. Thank you.
So yeah, which we'll have to do soon.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, my friend. Well, thank you so much, and thank you all for listening. And subscribe and join us next time for another amazing Real Estate Investor Goddesses podcast interview. Bye-bye.
You have just listened to another episode of Real Estate Investor Goddesses, a show dedicated to sharing stories of women creating real wealth through real estate. If you found value on what you just heard, feel free to share with your friends. Visit us at reigoddesses.com to learn more about our programs and live events, as well as to access other resources. Until next time,